Chapter 7, Mishnah 8. In order to be allowed to eat terumah, a Kohen must always be on guard to avoid becoming tameh. If he diverted his attention from avoiding tumah, he is considered tameh and may not eat terumah until he immerses himself in a mikveh. The Mishnah cites a dispute about a Kohen who decided not to eat terumah but remained careful not to become tameh. If a Kohen who is tahor decided not to eat terumah but continued to be on guard against becoming tameh, Rabbi Yehuda rules that he is still tahor and may go back to eating terumah if he wants, because tameh people usually stay away from him. That is, he need not be concerned that amei haaretz, or other tameh people, made him tameh without his knowing. Since they were unaware that he had stopped eating terumah, they assumed that he was still eating it and remained careful to avoid touching him. But the sages rule that he is tameh. In their view, once the Kohen decided not to eat terumah, he no longer protected himself properly from becoming tameh. He is thus forbidden to eat terumah until he immerses himself in a mikveh. The next case of the Mishnah involves a Kohen's hands rather than his body. Before a Kohen eats or touches terumah, he must wash his hands, netilas yadayim, because he might have touched parts of his body that were sweaty or otherwise dirty. The Mishnah deals with a Kohen who decided not to eat terumah, but remained careful to avoid touching the unclean parts of his body. If a Kohen whose hands were tahor decided not to eat terumah, but continued to be on guard against touching the unclean parts of his body, the law is that even if he says, "I know that my hands did not become unclean," his hands are considered unclean, and he may not eat or touch terumah. This is because the person's hands are active, and it is likely that they became unclean without his realizing.